All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Them on the Moon. Hello. Welcome to Wonderneath Weekly. My name is Danny Suede. Since I'm retired from social media, this is basically my way of like updating people with my life and sharing what I'm doing and what I'm up to. I'm currently traveling and working and making art. I'm in Jakarta right now for a music video. I just got here 2 days ago. And so I do these weekly updates on Substack, and if you want to follow along or check out this full video or any of the other stuff I talk about here, you could subscribe for free below in the description. And if you want the full version, there's a paid version with the full video and early access to other things as well. So anyways, with that being said, yep, I got here 2 days ago. So it was the first time I got searched at customs. So they flagged me, they put me aside, and they opened all my bags. And they were just like looking through all my gear, right? And they're like, what is this? What is this? My interface. And I'm like, what are you doing? And like, are you performing here? And blah, blah, blah. And they were thinking I was going to sell the stuff, I think, because they were like looking up the prices of everything and just kind of interrogated me and searched through all my stuff. But I was just kind of honest with them. I was like, yo, I'm just here traveling and whatever. I'm not planning on performing. I'm definitely not going to sell any of this stuff. And so they just let me go. And that was that. But I was thinking it's amazing that I made it this far without ever getting searched or questioned, like all the places I've gone. So that was a little scary, but fine. So funny too, because like on the, man, Indonesia is crazy, because on the plane ride in, they do like an announcement, and it was Vietnam Airlines, and the captain was like, if you take in the drug, you can receive death penalty. I was like, oh my God, because it's death penalty here for drug smuggling. Like they'll kill you. So I was like, oh my God. And then I was laying in bed the other night just paranoid, because I have a box of, it's like an emergency medical kit, and it has tons of like drugs in it, like antibiotics and different emergency things you might need. And like, I don't know what may be legal or illegal here. I'm sure it's fine, but I was just like playing out in my head like if there was like an illegal drug in there or something like that, and I went to jail or something. But luckily that didn't happen, and we're good. Yeah, so let's get into my update here. Check this out. So, this week my Sheets live session is out that I recorded in Bangkok. I worked on this really hard. It took a lot of time and effort, and I hired this Thai band. Only one of the dudes spoke English, but I arranged a live version of my song Sheets, and we recorded it in Bangkok, and it's out now. So go check that out. Like and subscribe, baby. It's really cool. I'd love to do something like that again, and so far the feedback has been amazing. So if you have checked it out or commented or anything, thank you very much for that. So that's cool. It's like a first. I've never done anything like that. It was my first time trying that, so that's what that is. One thing I want to say about it, I found myself before I recorded that constantly being like, I wish I could do a live video, or I always want to do a live video, and if only blah, 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 because I think a lot of those kind of live sessions, you get invited to do it by different studios or production companies or whatever, if you're a bigger artist. And I always just was salty. I'm like, when will I get the opportunity to do that, or the chance? And I wish I could do it. I've always wanted to do it. And one day I was just like, dude, just do it yourself, figure it out and do it yourself. And you could do it probably. And I was like, okay. So then I just dove in, and it was so rewarding, and it was so like, I don't know, just good. I was just like, I like this, and I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the experience, and it was it was a learning experience of like just doing stuff. And so I kind of want to give that encouragement to anyone watching. If pay attention, if you find yourself thinking, oh, I wish I could do this, or if only I could do this, or I wish this was that way, or those kind of things, it's easy to just kind of wish it and think, oh, well, I don't have it, or I can't do it, or whatever. But if you just question it and see, what if you could do it? Just kind of open your mind, imagine, whoa, what if I did this? Or how could I maybe do a version of this? Because for me, it didn't turn out or go at all like I thought it was going to go. Like when I imagined how it would look and what it would go like and what I would do and how it would go, it was way different. But I just dove in and just went through the journey and figured it out. So I would encourage you to do that as well. That's my encouragement for today. For you. Okay. My perplexity searches are pretty crazy. This week, what determines whether or not a plane can take off in a thunderstorm? Turns out it's this thing called shear. It's like wind shear and wind speed. So they just have a million measurements and instruments on the around the airport that measure the wind speed and the shear and all this. And basically, if you're clear, you're good. If you're not, you're not. But it measures far off, I think, too, because like obviously if the plane takes off and it's like a mile away and then it's really bad over there, then you could crash. So because there when I woke up to go to the airport, there was like a crazy storm. Like it was just thundering and the wind was whipping and I was like, oh no. So that was scary. Okay, another thing I'm wondering about. What is the significance of the term Evangelion as it relates to the Bible? I forget why I wondered this, but it's really interesting because there's this series, Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's like an anime. But I noticed some like biblical references in it when I first watched it and stuff, but the extent of it is actually surprising. And it's really cool. There's just all like you can see the crucifix here, and there's all these different references and objects and themes in it, and that are Bible related. And so the creator, Hidaki, I don't know who that is, but the dude who made it, he said it's not just a spectacle, but to wrestle with the deep questions about God, existence, and the nature of humanity. So I'm like, oh man, it makes me want to really rewatch them all kind of with that lens, because I think that's pretty cool and pretty interesting. Okay, why aren't people allowed to go into the woods in Nova Scotia? I've been seeing some stuff of this online. Apparently it's because high fire danger, so it's 20 grand fine for going in the woods, like going hiking. If you go into the woods, like you're done. In like the public land. So I think it's causing a bunch of controversy over there because people are like, what the hell? I want to go in the woods. Dude, you can't tell me not go in the woods. What are you talking about? But I saw a dude who just went to the ranger station. He's like, hey, I'm going to go in the woods over there, so get ready to find me. Because I think then he was going to take it to court. So that's kind of interesting. Freedom, man. Okay, this is a funny one. Why do you even need to wear underwear? Because the other day I was like, doing laundry and I'm like, could I just like go commando all the time? And like, who cares? Like, why is underwear a thing? Like, why do I need to wear underwear? I know it sounds funny, but it's like genuine question. So let's see what Perplexity says about it. It was basically like hygiene. So to absorb sweat and skin oils and small amounts of bodily discharge. This helps keep your pants cleaner. So I guess that's a reasonable reason, I guess, if you're sweating a lot and stuff. Comfort, I could feel that, but if you have comfortable pants, like who cares? Support for your nuts, which I also kind of feel that depending on what you're doing. Warmth and protection. And then norms, and like also like if your pants come off in public for some reason or whatever, at least you're not gonna like flash everyone your balls. I guess. So I'm like, but I'm staying in the house so much. I'm like considering just starting to just freaking go commando all the time, because I'm like, why am I don't know. We'll check back on that one. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so there's that one. Okay, this is crazy, dude. Did Ted Bundy have a child? So obviously Ted Bundy's a serial killer and he killed a lot of people. Well, he was married, right? Look at this. He conceived a child while he was in jail, bud, and his wife thought he was innocent. And this is crazy. So they would do the visits or whatever, and you weren't supposed to be allowed to have sex, but they snuck it apparently. And she got pregnant while he was in jail. And I was like, that's bananas, one. And it's crazy too, like if you think of it from like an evolutionary perspective, dude still got his genes into the next freaking, next generation, which is insane. But I guess his wife just wouldn't believe it. And then right before he got killed, he was like, he would reveal where bodies were in exchange for time off his sentence or something. And then he like was talking to his wife on the phone, and he insinuated that he knew where the bodies were. So then she was like, oh my God, he did it. And then she kind of went into, I guess, hiding after that pretty much. But I think that's freaking crazy, honestly. I didn't know that. I thought he had a kid beforehand, but the fact that he had a kid while he was in jail is insane to me. Like, wow. Who would have guessed that? Not me. Okay, let's keep going on the update here. So, okay, what I'm watching. This is a twofer. So one is this doctor from America who went to Gaza to work in the hospital there in Nasser Hospital. It's him on Theovant. And it's like the last kind of working hospital there. And he just tells his experience. He was there for like 30 days. And it's mind-blowing because they would just have huge groups of people every day flooding in that are just exploded. Basically, all civilians and children and women just freaking exploded, shot. Like he was talking about this girl that they had come in, a little girl who was just in her tent, just chilling in her tent, and one of the freaking IDF drones that has guns on it just sniped her through the tent, shot her through her thing. And it really just makes you wonder what's really going on there, you know. And for me, it's this really big journey of like trying to figure out what's the truth, you know, of what's happening. But it was eye-opening to watch that dude's thing. So that's on Theo Vaughn. If you go to the link in the description to my post, you can see all this stuff. And then on the balance side, you have Piers Morgan, where he has on Mike Huckabee, who is the U.S. ambassador to Israel. And he's basically Team Israel. And he has a bunch of arguments why Israel isn't bad and what they're doing is okay. I guess not okay, but defending Israel. And I'll be honest, a lot of it just seemed like either he's severely misinformed or he's lying. A lot of it didn't make sense. And I'm going to do a live reaction, live stream me watching this and just kind of talk about what I think doesn't make sense and seems sketchy to me. One of the points being, you know, it's always like Hamas is doing it, Hamas. But he makes this point where they drop apparently leaflets and tell people to evacuate areas they're going to bomb ahead of time, right? To avoid civilian casualties. But he's like, the problem is that Hamas just herds all the civilians into those places to use them as human shields. And then they end up killing a bunch of civilians because all the civilians are in the area they're going to bomb. But I feel like it's common sense. Like, if you know that Hamas is going to herd everyone into an area, let's say that's true and they do that. They herd everyone into an area, so when you bomb it, it kills all the civilians. It's like, don't frickin' drop the leaflets then. It's like, if you're accepting that you have to kill civilians, right? But you know that if you say where you're going to strike, they're going to hurt all the civilians there, don't frickin' tell them. Like, if you're okay with killing civilians and you're going to kill them anyways, like, kill less. Like, so don't warn so they frickin' pile all the civilians there. Like, is that not frickin' common sense? I don't know. So there's a lot of things like that where I'm like, this just seems like a propaganda talking point. And if you really think about it, I'm like, does that make any sense? And there was a bunch of stuff he was saying that just, to me, just didn't make sense. But with that being said, war is extremely complex. Obviously, the situation is extremely complex. I'm not a freaking military expert. I don't know what's exactly happening. I don't know what's true. That's just my thoughts on it. But it's interesting. And I like to get two sides. Whenever I do this thing where whenever I feel like, okay, now I know what's going on, I always dive into the opposite side, because I'll be honest, I started on the side of Israel pretty much, being like, okay, they got to do this, they're doing their best, etc. And I've slowly been moved to the side of, I think Israel just wants to really ethnic cleanse the place, and they're fine with killing civilians, and they do kill a lot of civilians on purpose. Not necessarily just like Israel, but some IDF soldiers, you know. That's how war goes. It's like, you look at basically any war, and pretty much every time both sides dehumanize the civilian population and are willing to kill civilians. If you look at freaking Vietnam, it's like the American soldiers killed tons of civilians all the time. So just random civilians. So that is what happens in war in general. So to think that that's not happening here is hard to believe. But like I said, I want to hear out both sides always. And I get very skeptical when I start to feel like, okay, this is what's really happening, or this is the truth of what's happening. I go, okay, let me watch some things that really challenge that. And, you know, I'm back and forth, but I really am on the side of like, Israel's very sketchy and shouldn't be doing what they're doing. And I think they're nefarious is where I'm at right now, but who knows? On a lighter note, what I'm listening to this week, dude, Spence, my little brother, he sent me a Maren Morris song from her new, I guess her album came out in May, but there's like a deluxe album that just dropped, and I've been listening to it a ton, and it's freaking awesome, dude. It's so good. Such good vibes. Awesome lyrics. The production's cool. Just freaking awesome vibes. So these are my two favorite songs from it so far, because of course, an Earth Angel. And I'm just vibing. I love it. I love it when I find new music that I'm really excited about and I like. So lucky me, baby. Okay. Let's keep going with the photo dump. Here we go. I think I'll do it this way so you can see everything better. So here's me in my new condo here. Thumbs up. Got 10,000 streams on Soldier, baby. Thank you for listening. Stoked about that. Love that song. This is the smoggy view from my window. Oh, there's actually beautiful clouds today, but man, is it smoggy here. Luckily, I asked the Airbnb people to put a air purifier in here. So they got this big Samsung ripping air purifier. So I'm just shredding that thing so I can breathe good air. You know. So I'm doing that, luckily. But it is very smoggy here. Look at this. Small door. This is from ground. This is me standing taking a picture of this door. I'm like, look at this little mini small door for like small people or something. I don't know what it's for. I wanted to open it and go in there, but interesting. I don't know. Just funny. You don't see, it's like normal proportions. It's like the proportions are normal, but it's just miniature, right? It's like, because you would think the handle would be up at the top, right? Because it's like, I don't know. It's just funny. I was just looking at that. I was like, this is a weird little door. Anyways, this is the pool at my spot. Very cool, very vibes. I haven't gone swimming yet, but I plan on it. Me, selfie again. This is the lizard that was living in my room in Hanoi. Little guy. He was just hanging out all the time with me the last few days, just whatever. Ooh, this is cool. This is a key shot thing. I was working on my music video set last night, and I just kind of got in a weird groove of like making this weird thing because I was experimenting with like materials and lighting and stuff. And I made this cool thing. I don't know. So I just wanted to share it. And I don't make things just for the hell of it very often, but I made this and I think it looks cool. So that was in Keyshot, not AI. Yeah. And then we got some good clouds, baby. Woo! That was in Hanoi. Man, the clouds were freaking awesome there. This is my condo. Does it look earthquake proof? I don't think it really does. But they're doing a bunch of construction in this middle open section, which I'm like looking at the concrete. I'm like, is this... What are they doing? Why are they doing this construction? But I think it's just cosmetic in there. You can see this missing panel right here where they're like gutted it and stuff, but a little sketchy, I will say. And then I think this clouds is the banner again. So that's my photo dump for this week. Okay, so if we keep going here. This week, Wonder Fam. So we're getting to the paid section now. So if you want to continue watching, you can click the link in the description to go to my Substack, and you can get this entire video and some early access to my Bangkok vlog and my photo journal that's going to be coming up in a few weeks. But here's the thing. This was crazy. I matched with a girl on Tinder last night, and we talked a little bit, but it turned out to be an intersex person. So I was like, what is that? And I had this crazy conversation with her. It blew my freaking mind. I got a million thoughts. I went down this crazy perplexity rabbit hole, and it was just really weird and crazy. And so I'm going to talk about that. And also, I'm at this interesting crossroads with my YouTube and kind of how I want to continue what I do creatively. And I've been really pondering about it, and I don't know what to do because I think it's a massively consequential decision for my life. So I'm going to ponder about that on there. And then, yeah, you got early access to the other stuff. And so just click the link in the description if you want to check that out and watch my full video. And then if not, we'll see you next week. And you can also just subscribe to my blog for free, and you'll get the normal updates like that we walked through here if you want to just be on here. And this, like I said, this is how I connect with people and share my life since I'm retired off social media. So that's that. And we'll see you next week.